Good morning, everybody. I was doing a little bit of thinking last night, and instead of changing things up from the way I normally do it, I about dropped you guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the rocker panels changed, change the lower A-pillar. That way those are done. When I drop that floor out of there, I can just keep it going just like I always do. Get the lower A-pillar replaced, the rocker replaced, and then I can drop the firewall and floor out of the way to replace the kick panel. I think that's going to be my best route. It works that way for me the best, always has, so why not keep it the same and get it done, right? Yeah. All right, well, I guess I'm going to be doing some rockers this morning. Get that taken care of. All right, let me get my plasma over here and we'll get bitty. All right, so doing the rocker panel, you want to keep this line the same height as the original. You know, the originals, even though the lines weren't perfect, you know they worked where this was. I don't have the doors for this truck, so I'm gonna put this the same height as the original was. So what I'm gonna do, back wall is mounted. I'm gonna stick my tape measure right in that corner. I'm gonna come up 12 inches and put a line. Now, when I put the new rocker in there, I'll stick my tape in there, bring it to where it's 12 inches, and I know it'll be the same spot. Now on the front, I'll go right to this outside point, straight up. Get my marker ready here. Straight up. If my fingers will work today, put a line. Now I know that's 9 inches. That will keep that right there. Right where it's supposed to be. Okay, this back here, a lot of times you'll see them creep up and they'll hit the bottom of the door. So what I'll do, I'll measure from here up. I got exactly 23 inches. Right there. I'll come back here and do the same thing. Prep work is the key, guys. Make sure, can you even see where I'm drawing here? You want to make sure you take all your measurements before you move anything. So, bring that right down, just where it's flat, front and rear. And I got 24 and a half. Now I'm putting 2 lines. That'll show, I'll keep the tape in between there. $24 and a half right there. And then it's just a matter of ripping that rocker off there and getting it cleaned up. All right, now we know we're replacing the floors with the inner rockers already attached, so it don't matter if we cut into either one of them on this one. So all I'm gonna do is get this out of the way. You can be as crude as you want because it don't matter. Lost my ground again, guys. Alright, I'll grab my hammer. Get that crap out of here. Alright, now I'll get the air chisel and I'll knock these pieces here off. And then I'll roll it up and get the bottom side. Yeah, the funny thing is, I've got more than one airline, but I haven't taken the time to put fittings on them. All right. Got my air hooked up. Okay, the lower A-pillar needs replaced. Let me see down here. You can see that body line right there, and then they give you about an inch above it. I never do it up here unless there's an issue with this mount for the door. The reason being, that's got a really thin bracket inside to hold that plate that has the holes, and it's spot welded just above that line. So what I do, I'll measure down and get the very bottom distance, and I'll come up here and I'll cut across. Actually, I'll do this one first. I'll cut across and in. I'll set that up here and cut across that same line, then weld that all up on the low side. Not the high side, on the low side. That way you're not disturbing that bracket inside. Got to get these two bolts out. And then when I put it back in there, I'll probably just line those up with those holes, because you can see there's no nuts on there. And when I do the floor, those holes line up too. There's 3 pieces right here. So what I do is I'll line that all up, make sure everything's the right distances, all that, and then after the floor's in, I plug those holes. There's no reason for them. That was done for the assembly in the factory. They bolted all this together and then just left the bolts in. But see, I got to get this outer A-pillar off. Then I got to go in here and get this piece off, slide that piece down in, lining the holes up, put this piece on, lining the holes up, and then weld it all together. I don't want to weld this because I got to replace this. All right, so I'll measure from, say, the bottom of that, 7 1/4. And then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go, say, let's measure from that side. What that'll do is make sure I get this squared this way in the right height so the rocker can come up underneath without binding. Okay, now I've got to get those bolts out of there. So now I'll take this, slide it up, Make sure it's in line. What'd that do with my marker? And then I'll just trace that. And now I know where to cut it. To the air chisel. Gotta get them separated. Well, there's your kick panel, guys. Now we got to move to the inside. But first, you got to separate this. Oh, it's already separated. Never mind. We'll just bend that over there out of the way. Now, let's see. Here is the kick. I'm gonna hook the plasma up real quick. I'm going to make it a little easier. All right, now back to what I was saying. See how that lines up? That's actually a lot better than most of them. And then, see, they don't even put the top hole in. This will go right there. So now I'll get a clamp and clamp this right where it needs to be. Right there. And then I'll go inside and cut across that. Now we know that's in the right location. Alright, I think I'm going to move my camera because I don't want to throw sparks all over you guys. Come off there. Come on now. All right. Now I can clean those up. Undercoat up inside. Clean this edge up. All that good stuff. what I'm gonna do up in here, he sent some bomb can rust converters, so I'll just spray that with that. Right there, if you can see it in the, I can't tell. Can you see that lip? That is the bracket that's spot welded on there that I was telling you about. See, if I'd have cut that all the way up here, it would have cut that off, and then that plate would have fell out, and you would have never got that back in place without cutting this back out. Well, that ain't very good stuff. I got one up. There we go. Spray it up best I can, get it all coated nice and heavy. Let it run. Spray way up in there the best I can. All right, while that's drying, I'm going to undercoat the other piece. Now that ew. Roadie. At least it ain't grease. Yuck. All right, now I can get that piece put back in. It got bent in. Look at that. Ain't she lovely? And of course, my clamps are way up in there. Holes all line up. and get the welder and get that tacked in place. Alright, now that that's in place, pop that loose, then this can go back up right there. Where'd my marker go again? All right. Get them holes drilled and get it tacked on the top, get it clamped all tight, and that'll be ready to weld and grind. Where'd my tape measure go, guys? Man, I'm losing everything. Where's my tape measure? All right. 7 1/4, 7 1/4, 7, 7. That's where she belongs. Now, now we know that is in exactly the right position. Just tap it around till everything's positioned. Why are you doing that to me? All right, at this point, I can weld and grind this all up. And the reason I'm gonna go ahead and grind it is because when that rocker comes up here, it lays right over that seam. Forgot to grab my air gun. Now, there's an added security that I like doing when I put these on because there's only enough room for one little spot weld. I'll weld down this seam here. It's all inside the rocker, so it don't matter. That's all you need. this shaking for? soon as that dries, we're ready for a rocker. All right, I went ahead and prepped the inside of the rocker panels up. Got all my plug holes drilled. Got it undercoated, ready to go. So, now, if everything worked the way it's supposed to, I should be able to get this popped up in place. Just like a so. And check some measurements. I got 9 inches to that line. 12 1/8. But I gotta pull that up tight. Like that. Okay. Yeah. Bouncing around on me here. The front should be pretty close right there. So I'm gonna get my measurement. Get this clamped in place. I'll get one end at a time. Now don't put too much force on it because you don't want to kink that inside panel either. Okay, now nine inches. Down here. 12 inches right there. Come on. Inches. Dang it, you keep bouncing back on me here. Inches right there. Inches. Let's get a clamp here. I think I'm gonna have to get this tack down here. because every time I pull it back, it pulls it up. Sometimes you just gotta start over. There's a lump right here that it keeps walking across. Now let's see what it'll do. That looks better. Right on the money. All right, so now we'll come back up here, get this one put back in place. Right on the money. We're on the money. Nine inches, right on the money. $12 right on the money. All right, now the bottom feels good. That's great. Well, let's see. I can go ahead and get the front tack. The back I need to tap around just a little bit. But if I get the front tacked, I know it's not going to move. All right, now for the back. Eighth inch too tall. All right, we're going to fix that. $12 right there. Get the bottom tack in place, because that's the part we need to have. Yep. struggle me. Inches, 9 inches, exactly what was there before. So now start tacking it in. Would have helped if I'd have grabbed my helmet. I like it. I think I'll grab my helmet so I can get some better welds on here. Let's see. Yeah, it's right in place. Wow, man. That back one kind of struggled me a little bit. You see, now I can tack these in there, tap this around because it's too sharp of a bend. I can tap that around and it'll roll in, and then I can tack these. Coming in hot. front is done. All right, now this area here, I said that before, that looks about like the original. I'm gonna work on that after I get the floors done. It's not hateful height-wise, and this way it's really close. So I'll work on that once I get the floor in there. The rest of it looks really good. Now, I gotta go to the other side. right, guys. This side is the same place as the other side was. I'm gonna call it a day. That took a little longer. This side fought me. This side fought me. But I got it. All the measurements look right, so both sides welded up as far as I can go until the floor goes in. So tomorrow, I'm gonna pull the floor and firewall and start getting this back together. I didn't weld the kick panels in because once the floor's out of there, I got plenty of room to do that and not laying on my back grinding them. This thing's coming to a close, getting closer. So tomorrow's Friday. This video is going to be a premiere. So Monday, you'll see the floors going in. All right, I gotta get cleaned up. I got grinding dust where grinding dust shouldn't be. Itchy. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Till tomorrow, have a blessed evening.